her parted on one side already. As you guys could see, we will be working in 4 different sections, okay? So I'm gonna section her on this side, and I'm gonna walk you guys through the way I am sectioning her. Hello from Germany. All right. So this is we're gonna be using a lot of ginger coppery tones. That is our overall goal with this. And if you guys have watched me before, you guys know I am all about dimensional work. I am all about lift and color because that's very low maintenance and that's very doable for the day-to-day person, right? So I am going to be here showing you guys how to go and create a beautiful dimensional lift and color. And this technique can honestly work for any color. Today I'm showing you guys my favorite formulas for a beautiful ginger, and I hope you guys love it. So the first section that we're going to do is we're going to work on all her outer perimeter. So I am taking about 2 inches and I'm working in diagonal back partings, okay? So, and let me see if this is okay for you guys. And if you guys can't see, I will gladly position myself to where you guys are able to see. So I am just working in a diagonal back and I am doing her perimeter. So I'm going to clip this away. And I am going to go right at the top of her ear, okay? So I am leaving this. This is her perimeter. I'm going to clip that away. Turn her around and follow all the way back, okay? Still working in a diagonal back. Like so. Okay, and if you guys see, I am connecting to the back. So I'm going to clip that away while I clip this down. Okay. And then I have these two, this whole block where I am going to cut. Now, I am going to go all the way down a little bit below the top of her, the highest point of her head, because I want to also cover a little bit down below. So I am going down from the top, the highest point of her head, maybe about 3 inches down, and it is going to get me right behind her ear, okay? And let me know if my camera is positioned well. If not, I will go ahead and move it around, adjust it for you guys. So the reason why I am going just below instead of stopping right up here is because this is going to give me a beautiful veil to drop down. And guys, that is what you call working smarter and not harder, because we're taking advantage of a bigger section to give us more coverage than stopping at the top. And that is just going to give us more of that beautiful dimension, and it's going to grow out beautifully. So let me go back and just reassess. There we go. Hello everyone, whoever's jumping in, hi. Hello, I am Rosalia Pisano, and I am here to share with you guys my trouble-free technique, which is my blueprint to dimensional lift and color. And this is also a great technique when you guys are touching up, because it's so easy to remember. And you know, sometimes it can be a bit challenging when we're trying to touch up lift in or dimensional work. Okay, so I'm going to show you guys. So we have our perimeter back here that's connected to our front, okay? And then we have our lived-in nape, and then we have our top crown, which this actually overflows a little bit to the back, giving us beautiful dimension and a max coverage, which, guys, that's so important, especially when we are so busy behind the chair. We're working smarter by taking this a little bit more down and providing more of that color. Okay, so we have 3 different formulas that we will be working with today. Our first formula is our pre-lighten. We are pre-lighten with our Blonde Life lightening powder. And I am using that with 20 volume. So that is what I'm going to use in our foils. And then our formula 2, which is our base, is our Lumishine Permanent Hair Color in a 7 NRG. Guys, if you guys have not tried our NRG series, oh my goodness, this is such a beautiful, vibrant line. It has a perfect combination of reds and copper that it's to die for. So I will be using this for her base, and that is formula 2. My formula 3, once I pull out the foils, we'll be using our formula 3, which our formula 3 is in our liquid demi colors, again from Lumishine. So I'm going to be using 8NC, 8AA, 6 CCR, and this is going to give us the most beautiful ginger dimensional color. So we do 1 part ANC, 8NC, and then we do half a cap of each of these. So half a cap of 6 CCR and half a cap of our 8 double ash. This is going to give us that perfect, beautiful ginger. If you guys have not worked with their double ash, adding it in any warmth formula that you guys have, guys, you guys are missing out. What this does, adding a little bit of that double ash, it just gives it a much more refined warmth, very beautiful, and it prolongs the color. So it gives you a much more lasting effect as well. Color. So let's go ahead and get started. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to prep her with our Pro Series 1, and I will be using our Pro Series 1 and 2. 2, I'll use it at the shampoo bowl. If you guys are not aware of what our Pro Series is, it's our bond building, our bond protecting spray, optimizer spray. So what this does, it really gives us a much more better lift, even lift. It protects our hair from breakage, and guys, it gives the most beautiful results at the end. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure I shake it very, very well, and I'm going to do small bursts. Now, because I am starting in the front, I'm going to just take her hair slightly back and position myself towards her front and just spray. Okay, small burst and towards the back. Why? Because if I come in and try spraying her over here, we're both going to be coughing, and it's just going to be a hot mess, right? So I am just taking her hair back and spraying that. That way we are good to go. Now I'm going to divide that and do the same thing. So this is giving us protection. This is giving us a much more better lift, even lift. And it makes her hair feel so good. Healthy hair is our priority here. And if you guys can just see, we already have that beautiful shine. Look at that. It's already starting to work. It's protecting it already. And I'm going to go down behind the rest of her perimeter and do the same thing. So making sure we're shaking it very, very well. And releasing small burst. is key here, okay? And just brushing, combing that through just to get that even distribution. And if I really want you guys to see this right here, that we are making sure that we are connecting this perimeter all the way to the back. We don't just want to leave this and take this up here, okay? We want to make sure that we are fully connecting the perimeter from front to back, because if not, what happens is if she decides to put her hair up, we are leaving this as a hole, right? We're leaving that little hole, and that is just not going to look very well if she does wear her hair up. So we want to make sure that we are taking all of this perimeter from front to back, okay? So I love to start in the perimeter area because that is the first focal point that you're going to see on someone, right? When you have them walking in or you're talking to someone, where do your eyes draw? Right in the front. So that is a very important area to make sure that we are giving our all to. And this is also going to, just depending on how our consultation goes, and if she wants a little bit more boldness, or if she wants it a little softer, this is where it's very, very customizable, especially because everyone has different hairlines, right? So here it might be different every single time, but the technique stays right around the same. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm going to subsection this in two areas because this is just too large of a section to be working with. So I'm gonna clip that away, and I am going to start working at a slight angle, okay? So all your perimeter, you are going to fit in between 2 to 4 foils, guys, in the perimeter, and you're gonna back comb twice, okay? That is going to give us a little bit of that leadway for when it grows out. It's not going to be right at the top and a harsh line, okay? So I am going to be taking about medium weaves, like so, okay? And I'm gonna leave a little bit of this dimension down here. Now, if she wanted something more brighter, then I would do the opposite. I would start with my blonde here, and then I would leave some dimension. But we are going to do a very, very low maintenance ginger on her. So this is gonna be her ginger, and this is going to be her brighter piece. So I like to really hold this top at the end and start about a little bit down the middle and go 1 and 2, okay? There we go. That's gonna give me a little bit of that leadway to make sure that this is still very lift in, right? Because lift in is very low maintenance. You don't know where it starts, you don't know where it ends, and it's very, very soft. Guys, I'm using a board because that ensures me to make sure my saturation is very well, and it gives me a much more even lift. So I am going to start about here and then work my way up. Remember, for a lift-in color, you want to make sure you really make it a lift-in color by starting lower and then going higher. And if you guys have any questions, please be sure to put it on the chat. I will make sure I can go back and answer any. Again, and my Joico fam is on here, so I'm sure they would gladly also answer anything that I cannot answer. Okay, I'm gonna release that board. And I am just gonna grab those ends, put them up. So very lightly going back up. And I'm not going all the way up there. I am just leaving that and then foiling. Okay. And again, I am going to leave depth, leave that nice beautiful 7 NRG, and taking this okay, and the same thing, gonna start a little below the middle, and 1 and 2. Make sure I have those high up. I love using a board because it really helps ensure everything stays in place, especially for something like the perimeter. Again, I'm gonna start lower. And I am using Blonde Life Powder Lightener. I'm brushing up with 20 volume. If she was a real client, I would probably start with the 10 volume and then work my way up. Making sure that is very saturated and lightly buffing up. Okay. Blonde Life Lightener gives you 9+ levels of lift. It's a great lightener to work with. Very powerful for sure. All right, so these pieces that are left out, these are going to be that 7 NRG, okay? So that is going to give us that beautiful ginger. And then I'm gonna go and release this other that we had in the perimeter and start working with that. Again, guys, the whole perimeter area is going to be 2 to 4 foils, and I am working at a slight angle. And if you guys see, the way I part it was diagonal back, and always when we are working in diagonals, that is going to give us that softness at all times. Okay, so I'm leaving a little bit of depth. Again, holding this very nice and taut, going down 1 and 2, okay? Shall we clip that away? There we go. Let me know where you guys are watching from and what's one of your favorite Joico products that you guys are obsessed with, are always using. Let me know in the comments. And you see I got a little bit on that teased hair. Just brush that away. And I am also, if you guys see my section, I am brushing a little bit higher towards the front, and it's just giving me that nice angle, because once it drops down, it's automatically gonna give me that higher to lower. But by me mimicking it, it just makes it so much more softer, guys. Okay. Bring that down. Bring that tease down. And I am doing more of like a medium weave. This is leaving for that depth, 7 energy. And 1, 2. So all our perimeter is 2 to 4 foils and back combing twice. Hello from Madagascar. Wow. I am in Illinois, guys. So if there's any Illinois people on here, hello. What time is it in Madagascar right now, Glad? All right, and here is where I am going a little higher, and I'm leaving that as is. Up. Folding that through. All right, bringing that down, and then we are moving into our back portion, still the perimeter. Okay, now if you are a little afraid that you might have this process, all this process sooner than everything else, I highly recommend that you guys start with a very, very low volume, because that is definitely going to help you guys have a much more even lift all around. So the same thing here. Gonna take a slice. And I am going to weave again in an angle, leaving this as step, holding taut 1 and 2. Making sure all of that is high up, away. Saturating that, going higher. And keeping that angle is just bringing me a lot more softness, that lift-in color. The grow out on this, it's beautiful. You guys cannot see when this grow out needs to get done, because it's so beautifully blended. And that's what a lift-in color should be. Very seamless, very soft. You don't know where it starts. You don't know where it ends. Okay, and then we have one more. So I'm gonna weave that out. Okay, this is my depth. Leaving this 1, 2. Making sure that's up and away. If you guys are just hopping on, hello, welcome. I am Rosalia Pisano, and I am doing a lift-in dimensional color. We're working with gingers today. And right now we are just doing our perimeter area. And if you guys have some of these stubborn hairs, you guys can clip it away, or you guys can have a hairspray handy and just spray that up. And I am using our Blonde Life Powder Lightener 20 volume. I prepped her hair with our Pro 1 series. And I will finish her off with the shampoo bowl with our Pro 2. Alright, so now that we finished our perimeter, we are going to go in and jump to our back, okay? Our nape, our lived-in nape, what I like to call it. So our lived-in nape, for a lot of dimensional coloring, a lot of times the nape is just left like so, right? And it's purposely done so because that really gives everything else the chance to really pop and have that beautiful contrast. I believe that too, but not in this technique. So in this technique, I call it my lived-in nape because what we're going to do is we're going to take horizontal sections here and we are going to back comb 5 times, okay? And what's going to happen here, it's still going to be very, a lot of depth, but they're still going to have some lived-in color. And that's very important because sometimes if you do updos, guys, and you guys curl and they want a half up, half down style, sometimes you can't because it's just like a whole block of depth, which is okay in certain color techniques. But in this technique, we still want to have a lot of depth, but we want to have some lived in, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take 4 foils to the back, and we're going to do slices, okay? So here's my first one, and this is probably about a 2-inch parting, and these are going to be your horizontal sections. Horizontal sounds scary, right? Sounds not soft, but believe me, when you guys see the end result, this is going to be beautiful. And I'm going to take about 1 inch of that section. So holding on very top, there we go. Holding on very top, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay? 5 back combs. So I know that you guys are imagining, okay, when that 5 comes down, where is this going to live? It's going to live so beautifully below. And it's still going to look very, very soft because we are doing a foliage, guys. So the difference between just a traditional teasy light and a foliage is that I am still working in the manner as I would if I was balayaging. So I'm just not slapping it and that's it, right? I am actually creating some of those points to really give it that softness, that blurred effect, but in a foil. In a foil because I want max amount of lift. There we go. Okay, so you see, I have a higher point, a lower, higher, higher, higher. Okay, I hope you guys can see that very well. All right, now for something like this now in this section, I am going to start stacking my foils instead of folding them. So again, I'm gonna go down, horizontal, in my lift and nape, leave some of that, and back combing. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. And if you guys are just tuning in, I did prep her with our Pro 1 series, and that is our bond protecting color optimizer spray. And what that does, it builds bonds to really make sure that we are doing the most to protect her hair, the integrity of the hair. It gives us a much more even and better lift, higher lift. And then we finish it off with our Pro Series number 2 at the shampoo bowl. All right, so making sure all of this is very saturated, and I am just going in and making some of my points, okay? I'm making a balayage, but it's a foliage. We are using foils. Oh. Hello, Marisol from Peru. How's the weather over there? Guys, and if you guys have any questions, please let me know here on the chat, and I would gladly answer them. All right, so now we have our next one. Again, still working in horizontal sections. Holding top, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, okay? 5 back combs. Who else in here uses a board when you guys are foiling? Anyone? My formulas that I am going to be using, I'm using Formula 1 right now, which this is our Blonde Life Powder Lightener with 20 volume. My base is going to be a 7 NRG Natural Red Gold Series from our Lumashine Permanent Hair Color line with 20 volume. And then my third formula is going to be from our Lumashine Demi Liquid, which is going to be 8 NC Natural Gold. I'm sorry, Natural Copper NC. With our 8 Double Ash, so 8AA. And then our 6 CCR, which is Copper Red. And we are using 1 part 8 natural copper and half a cap of our 6 CCR and our 8 double ash. If you guys missed it, I was mentioning how using the double ash series with any warmth actually makes it so beautiful. It gives you a very refined warmth, which is so beautiful, and it just extends the hair color. The longevity of it, it's phenomenal. Okay, so we have one more, and we are just gonna go ahead and pop that on the top. Yes, it looks scary. It's not, I promise. So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Brush that up, get that out of our way. And adding that blonde light, painting those points, higher, lowers, because I still want this to be very diffused, a very soft grow out, even though we're using horizontal lines, okay? Okay, so now we're going to swing her around and we are going to work in our most largest section, which is the top. And we are going to, again, be working in slightly angled sections on this. So it was diagonal backs, all perimeter. In our lift and nape, all horizontals, but it was more of that balayage effect, but inside a foil. And now we are going to our major, larger section. And what we're going to do is we're going to have diagonal, we're going to be slightly diagonal back as well, okay? So I'm going to start from down here, work my way up here. And on this top, on this section right here, what we're going to be working with is we're going to be working with weaves. So we were working on slices in the back. Now we're transitioning back over to medium weaves. And this is going to help that grow out process be a lot more seamless, a lot more blended. You guys. Okay. Not sure what happened. Can you guys hear me and see me? Throw me a thumbs up if you can. Okay, thank you. All right, so we are going to be working slightly angled diagonal back, right? And we are going to be using medium weaves, just how we were in the perimeter, okay? And here we are only going to tease back 3 times. So perimeter, we teased 2 times. The back lift and nape area, we teased 5 times. And it was horizontal partings. And now in our largest section, we are doing diagonal back partings, medium weaves, and we're back combing 3 times. Cool? All right, so we are going to weave, leave a little bit of that down there. That is going to be our 7 in our G. So 1, 2, and 3. Okay, and the reason why I am holding this right how this angle is because when this hair is at 0 elevation, it's going to drop down, and guess what? It's going to be from high to low automatically. Here is where we are working smarter and not harder, guys. So I'm going to put that right there. Feather that up. And I am using our Blonde Light Powder Lightener with 20 volume. If you guys give this technique a try, please make sure you guys tag me. I am at RP Beauty Lab and Company. I would love to see your transformations. Okay. So now I'm gonna go back, grab another one. And these partings are about 1.5 inches to 2 inches, okay? So nothing crazy. As you get higher up, the sections are going to get wider. You could do one or two things. You can work with a thicker foil, or you can put your comb diagonal and make it like so, and that's gonna give you a much more space to work with. Or you can just break this in 2 sections, and that is what I'm going to choose to do today. I am going to subdivide, so 1 and 2, okay? Still keeping the same. So medium weave, 1, 2, and 3, okay? I'm popping a foil here and here. You always want to stay in control of your color. That way you give a much cleaner application. And when it comes back to touching up, it's so much easier, guys. So again, this is the trouble-free technique. You have 4 different sections: your perimeter, your lived-in nape, and then your top. Very easy. And you are able to go back to this and know exactly where you placed for a much easier touch-up. Because lived-in color and dimensional work can sometimes be a little tricky, a little challenging when it comes to touching up. Okay, leaving some of that, and actually let me reevaluate this. Boop, boop. There we go. 1, 2, and 3. Okay. And again, I am holding directly out from that parting. And when I am getting closer to the front, so closer in this area, if you see, I am shifting a little bit over towards her front. Why? Because I really want to make sure that this focus area is going to be very beautifully seamless, blurred out. When she goes down to 0 elevation, it's going to blend so beautiful. When she styles it, you are not going to know where it started, where it ends, nothing. Okay. There we go. Get these ends. Make sure whatever you guys teased, you guys bring back down. So when we take the next section, you're not all tangled up in here, okay? So drop down. And again, working at a slight angle. And I am going to break this in 2 again. So right down the middle. Let's keep it neater. again, we are doing weaves, medium weaves. Leave that. 1, 2, and 3. 3 back combs. Slightly over directing a little bit, not much at all. If you see, it's almost as if I'm coming straight out of her part, okay? And then just slight over direction, not much. That is what gives this a very lived in color because it's very blended, very seamless. And you want to make sure that it is very seamless, very soft, very low maintenance, because someone who gets this done, you might not see them for 2 months, 2+ months. So when you are doing something like this, when they come back, you almost want to say, hey, what are you doing here, right? Okay, so down and over. Same thing, medium weave. Okay. 1, 2, 3. Guys, when you guys are teasing, make sure you guys are holding this very, very taut, okay? Because if not, you will lose a little bit of control. And it might get a little messy. And you do not want that. All right. There we go. Any questions, guys? You guys have any questions? Obviously, if she was a real client, we can just kind of prop her like so nothing's in her way. All right. And we are going to do another one. Oh my God, time is flying. It is 2:50, guys. Wow, time is flying. So I am going to do one more and then another one. So I have 2 more to do. 1 and 2 up here, okay? Still slightly at an angle. And again, it is medium weaves. So let me see if I can do this in one foil. Probably not. So let me put that over. 1, 2, 3. Remember, 3 back teases. And again, I am using the Joico Blonde Life Powder Lightener with 20 volume. This is a great lightening powder. It is 9+ levels of lift. Levels of lift, guys. Very, very powerful, but yeah, very gentle on the hair. It has our bond building in here as well. And if you guys didn't see, in the beginning, I also used a Pro Series 1 to give it that extra protection and a better lift. Okay, 1, 2, 3. I'm gonna pop one in here, and then I'm gonna pop another one up here, okay? And then we are set. So I am at 253, guys. And I'm gonna go ahead, finish this off away, and I am gonna give you guys the beautiful end result at my Instagram at RP Beauty Lab and Company. So if you guys are not following me, please go ahead and do so. I will have the end result to you guys this afternoon, and I will make sure I post on there as well. Joico will be posting too. But again, just a quick little recap. If you guys missed it in the beginning, 3 different formulas. We used our Blonde Life Powder Lightener with 20 volume, and we will be using as our base our Lumishine Permanent Hair Color in 7 NRG with 20 volume. And then finally, our Formula 3 we have in our Demi Liquid line. Beautiful, beautiful colors. We have our 8 NC, our 6 CCR, and then our 8 Double Ash. Guys, this is, I can't wait for you guys to see it. I'm so excited for you guys to see it. Again, this was my trouble-free technique, perfect for lived-in dimensional work. You guys could do it with reds, with brunettes, with blondes. Please give it a try. If you do, tag me, tag Joico. Make sure you guys are all following Joico. And we have lots of free online education. Make sure you guys hit our tab to see what is coming out next for this week and join all our other artists. Thank you guys so much for tuning in.